Howdy everyone, it's me once again, the one and only Killer Rodan. And today, I'm doing another Disney related video, folks, so it's a topic I thought I'll speak about for a brief moment, because why not? So, it's not that I'm trying to make a political statement with this video, I mean, not that I mind anyway, but it's a topic I've heard about before, because apparently these princess characters have unrealistic hair to be very long, which I found ridiculous because in real life they're all women with various hair lengths and whatnot. So, but the thing is that uh, people want to see a bald-headed princess character, and of course there could be a number of reasons as to why a woman or a man could be bald-headed. Maybe it's because of cancer. Maybe it's because genetics, like maybe it runs in the family for whatever reason. Yeah, there could be a number of reasons as to why so an individual could be bald-headed, and or maybe they just want to shave it all off and just keep it that way. Well, it saves you can save a lot of money on shampoo, I guess, in that regard. Maybe that could be the reason they would just want to save money. I don't know. It could be a various reasons as to why they want to do that as well. But I guess in some ways, I'm gonna be making a comment about this kind of a thing. I mean, it's usually because of cancer people would bring up, of course, as to why they would lose hair, or maybe they would have a hair loss at a really early age, because it does happen with people that's fairly young, in their 20s or 30s or whatever. It does happen, unfortunately, for some folks for a number of reasons. So, yeah. But, point being, so this kind of a thing be displayed in a Disney film, of course, when it comes to this kind of a thing, it's usually for the Disney princesses, for the obvious reasons that, it's something that Disney princesses are very popular, and that's the very thing that comes to mind. The very first thing that comes to mind with the princesses in Disney films. You can think of Disney is, the princess films. So of course they want some sort of thing to be shown in the films. A lot of people would want that. I would suggest just revamping one of the princess characters that's already been made already. So, if you are gonna do this kind of a thing in an animated movie or live action, I would say make an original princess. It doesn't have to be based upon an existing book or books or whatever. Just totally original. If you are gonna do this, don't remake a princess character that was from the past or whatever. This character has a messy hair bun, so I don't know if that counts for anything. And then even she had messy hair when she woke up, so that's also that. And oh yeah, speaking of which, even she has messy hair as well. So after a tired day, I guess. So to Disney's credit, it's not like they didn't put any effort for a variety of different hair kind of thing. Case in point, look at her. So yeah, that should count for something, right? I mean, it's not there was any lack of effort of any kind of hair differences, I suppose. So yeah, people do want to see a bald princess type character in the animated films. So most likely, people would want to remake a character, which is pretty lazy, if you ask me. Just to remake something that's already there, it's been previously made. And that's just really lazy, if you ask me. If they are going to remake any of these characters and just make the character bald, no, don't do that. It's like getting some tracing paper and just trace over an existing character and just not include the hair. Yes, that's way too simple, if you ask me. But I guess in some ways this is a remark on the fact that they keep remaking princess characters and they're continuing to remake princess characters. Just make something that's totally different. I mean, you could keep the same kind of idea, I guess, for princess characters and whatnot, but she can have her own kingdom or whatever. And how would you make this work in the movie anyway? And there's plenty of cancer victims who survived. I guess that's whatnot. And they just want the Disney Studios to create a princess character who has no hair at all for whatever reason, I guess. I guess it could work, maybe, but it depends on the delivery of the story, I suppose. I mean, you could go ahead. They can do whatever they want, I suppose. It's their characters. So, but yeah, I mean, on kids, in real life, yeah, there's really young kids, unfortunately, who are like 5, 8, who's not even 10 yet. There's some kids out there who lost their hair, unfortunately, for whatever reason, and it's usually because of cancer. Yes, that's definitely a very sensitive topic. And I mean, I guess it could make a child feel good that we have a princess character that also doesn't have any hair at all. That would make the character relatable to some extent, I guess you can say. And I'm not saying it wouldn't work. It just depends on the delivery of this kind of a character. I'll say just make a brand new princess character. Just do a whole new character altogether. You might as well. And yes, I do realize that hair itself seems to be really important when it comes to these characters. And maybe that could be like a topic that could be brought up with the parents. Maybe the character had hair at some point and their lives and just lost it for whatever reason. And cancer, if you want to make cancer as the reason as to for the character to lose that hair, that's going to be a really serious subject matter. Yeah, how can you deliver that in the movie if you want that to be in the film? That's a really, really, really serious subject matter. I mean, little kids are not going to really understand cancer all the way. And I'm not saying all kids are stupid or anything. That's not what I'm getting at. But it's a subject matter they're not going to be too familiar with. At least not every single kid anyway. And but yeah, this is something that you're gonna have to be really careful with. I guess you can say. I don't know how they're gonna do it really. So it's definitely a subject matter. They're gonna be really careful, of course. But yeah, so it's definitely something that's gonna be, something serious, of course. So there's that. And yeah, there's nothing inherently wrong with wanting a Disney princess character to inspire little girls and all women of all ages. That in itself is fine. Fine, that's cool. Nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing bad with wanting the Disney Studio company to support all women with cancer. Of course, there's women who did survive this kind of a thing. I'm not saying that those don't exist. There's some people who unfortunately did die. Maybe the princess character could have a relative who did die of cancer and she survived. Maybe she could feel a bit guilty for living, I guess. I don't know. There's a bunch of ways you can do. There's those various ways. I mean, you still keep the kingdom. She's still gonna be the leader. Maybe she has a twin. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe she has a twin. And the twin maybe. I mean, I don't know how that would work. I mean, it seems kind of convenient that both would get cancer at the same time. You don't want to make it seem like a convenient plot device just to work up emotions or whatever. Like I said, this can be really tricky. This can be really, really tricky. And you have to handle this serious material in such a way that you don't want to come off insensitive or anything. You don't want to, beat you over the head with it. I mean, no pun intended, but what I'm getting at. It has to be handled really, really craftily, really well. And yeah, I don't know how they would do this, like I was saying. And maybe it runs in the family. I don't know. Maybe. So, I don't know. So this could work, depending on how it's done, I suppose, folks. I'm not quite too sure on how to go do it, of course, folks. I mean, yes, I do realize that the cancer itself, this disease has impacted tens of thousands of American families every year. And having a Disney character reflecting this could be motivational, maybe. Find the same kind of cancer battle that could go a long way to provide hope in this kind of a thing, of course. And yeah, how can this work exactly? I'm not quite too sure, like I was saying, folks. And yeah, this could be done. It could create an interesting story, I guess you can say, because it does provide various numbers of storytelling techniques you can create, of course. And you can make this be a part of the character somehow. You could create a three-dimensional character to some extent, I guess. It could be experiment kind of storytelling because there was and yes, I realized that there was not a Disney princess character before this, and and yeah, that's definitely something you could make a reflection upon in some sort of way. And you have to think about, okay, what's the villain? When it comes to these movies, there's always seem to be a villain, at least most of the time. What's the villain? Who's the bad guy? And I don't know. And so I'm not quite sure how I can make that work too, because there has to be some sort of conflict, and not just an internal conflict, but an outer conflict, an external conflict, and an internal conflict. So yeah, you can have two things going on at once in some sort of manner, I guess you can say. In other words, you could make it pretty interesting. Why have some sort of drama within the character's personal life and outside, of course, because when you think about the princess character, does have to go on a routine and just think about the duties as a princess, because there's a kingdom that she has to go through. Okay, what about the parents though? What about mommy and daddy, the king and the queen? What would be their role in the story? I mean, you can go a bunch of ways with this story line. Of course, the parents can be still alive, and of course, when you think about it, they can, I don't know, maybe there's a war going on, maybe there's a battle between two nations, and you can use that as a message that we shouldn't be fighting each other, set aside their differences, and maybe the other side, the opposing side, doesn't agree on anything. And if you want to go for like a realistic approach, maybe you can go with that. Unfortunately, no matter how nice you are, no matter how kind you are, there's always going to be some individual who doesn't like you, and you could let the kids know. Unfortunately, that's life. And no matter how sweet you are, no matter how loving, caring you can be the sweetest individual ever, and unfortunately, not everyone's gonna like you. Maybe you could put that in the story because that's reality, unfortunately. And I mean, do it in a way not to sound pessimistic by any means, because you can always still have good-hearted people win at the end. You can still do that. You can still have a happily ever after kind of ending. You can still keep that. I'm not saying not to. I'm just pointing that out. So how will this work exactly? Again, I'm not quite too sure. I mean, I realize I'm sounding repetitive here. There's too many I don't knows, really, folks. But like I said, you could do some research on this, because when you're making a movie, you do have to do research anyway. When you think about it, when you do a subject matter like this, or for any movie, regardless of genre or live action, you're gonna have to do research nonetheless anyway. But yeah, it seems like a topic they could tackle, but I don't know if they should, because this is a serious subject matter. It's a really serious subject matter. But I don't know. I guess it depends how it's handled. Like I was saying a moment ago, it depends how it's done. I suppose, maybe. I guess. I don't know. So yeah, so I know a lot of people would want to have set up a GoFundMe page or a petition kind of a thing, which someone already had, to my knowledge. I don't know how far they went, but there is a GoFundMe page or some sort of thing online that could sign to let the studios know. I know that does exist, at least a form of it, I guess. But yeah, that doesn't necessarily mean they're gonna actually go through with it. But I don't know. We see how it goes, I guess. Maybe somebody will get the idea to do so and make it work some kind of way, I suppose. Maybe. But yeah, it could work depending how the execution, because I've seen a lot of bad movies that had good ideas, but the execution was poor. Good idea, bad delivery. Because that has happened before. Man, you have a great idea, but you could say it has great potential, but then could be wasted on the way it was delivered. So I don't know. We see, I guess, if they'll actually do it, but you do have to really be careful with this kind of a thing, obviously, because it's a touchy subject matter, a really touchy subject matter. So yeah, you don't want to make the viewers uncomfortable. So it really, 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 really depends on how it's created, obviously. But I guess it could work. I suppose, maybe. But yeah, I mean, of course, there could be singing. Of course, there'll be lots of singing, like traditionally in these films. There'll be animal sidekicks, and of course, you could still have the typical Disney stuff that's in there. You could just give it a creative twist. Take something cliched, give it a new creative spin. Therefore, you can crank out something that's more original. At least an attempt at it, anyway. But yeah, folks, I'm all for creative endeavors. Of course, I'm all for trying to do something different instead of just recycling the same thing over and over and over again. But yeah, I'm not saying to not do anything creative. It just how can you do this without making anybody feel uncomfortable? I don't know. Yeah, that's definitely something you have to think about when you're making movies. Who's the target audience when it comes to these kinds of movies? I mean, of course, with cancer patients, of course, or people who are just bored for whatever reason. I mean, you want to appeal to them, of course, obviously. You want to appeal to that group of people, to that demographic. But at the same time, simultaneously, you want other people to see it too. You want as many people in the seat in the theater to watch it. You want to make this movie to make as much money as humanly possible because you have to think about it, it's a business after all. Regardless if it's Pixar, Disney, DreamWorks, George Lucas Films, whoever, it doesn't matter what the company is because at the end of the day, it's about making money, and the business should make money. So yeah, you do have to think about that because it's a business, folks. The film industry is a business, so you have to find a way to make it work. Obviously, for everyone as well, not just for one specific audience. So that's definitely something to keep in mind as well. I guess it depends on the campaign. I mean, in other words, how do you advertise this really? And I mean, it's not gonna be all the gimmick. It's the fact that it's just bald. It's not like the only gimmick you know by. And that's gonna be definitely a hard sell because there has to be more to the character than just her being bald for whatever reason. And okay, she's bald. Okay, what else? Is she a cheerful person? Is she a loving person? Or did she become a bit bitter because of experience? Maybe could be one of those people that really worshipped her hair. She really loved her hair, but maybe became really bitter over time because she lost it because she really, really loved her hair. I mean, I know a lot of women out there really love to, comb their hair and do a lot of be really stylish with it. Maybe she has to grow up and accept the fact that she will not have the hair anymore. Will she have any powers? I just have to throw my 2 cents in there. Maybe not. Don't give any powers because if she has any powers, could she just grow the hair back? I don't know. Just make her be a princess without any powers. And I know some people won't mind having a princess with powers, but then in that case, what's prevented her from using her powers to grow up back? I don't know. This kind of leaves a massive plot hole, I guess you can say. If she can't use her powers, then okay, why not? How come? I don't know, folks. It's just like something I'm thinking about here. Again, just throw my 2 cents. Anyway, of course, as always, thanks for watching and take care. Until next time, see ya. Oh yeah. Later.